Morning, guys. I'm shooting this on Monday morning, and you'll be seeing it on Tuesday. So I am actually going to source, which is unusual on Monday. The reason for that is because I won't be able to do any sourcing on Friday because it's my little boy's first birthday. He has to go to the doctor, which is not so great, but then we're gonna do something with him. So Monday, today, I'm going to do some sourcing at a different location. It's about 30 plus miles from where I live. It's a big thrift store. I've actually never been there to this particular one, so curious to see. Hopefully putting out some new stuff, maybe some new books, hopefully. It's supposed to have a lot of books, a lot of everything basically. So yeah, so I'll source today, Monday, and then tomorrow, Tuesday, and that'll be it until possibly Saturday. I'm trying to make it a big day today. I'm hoping I can get a good amount of 50 plus books. Would be great. We'll see if that's possible. Got my scanner with me, and my phone's all charged up, and also I bring along an external battery that I can hook up to the phone if the battery's dying, and the battery is known to die. Not super quick, but can be fairly quick. Let me see if there's some good stuff there, and I will let you guys know. Guys, I spent a lot of time at that thrift store, and I bought 48 books for $65. Now, it would have been a lot more money if I hadn't bumped into a particular guy, or rather if he hadn't spoken to me. There was a guy in looking at books briefly, whatever, and he saw all the books I had in the cart because I was at the end there, so I had most of the books in the cart. He made a comment about, do you buy a lot of books all the time or frequently? And I said, yeah. And then I said I resell them, but I'm not sure if he heard me say I resell them, so I don't know. I told him that, and then he looked at the books, and then he reached into his pocket and he pulled out this card that apparently he has multiple ones like it, where he donates items to the store frequently. He says he's down there every week. So if you donate, they give you, this is Savers now, I can tell you, Savers thrift store. If you donate, they give you this donation card, and it goes all the way up to 30% off. And so it starts at like 5, whatever, 10, 15. And he was all the way up to 30. And he said he had a couple more in the car, so apparently he's got these all over the place and carries them with him if he happens to buy something at Savers. And he gave it to me, completely unsolicited, just saying, oh, you're gonna need help with that. So that was totally lucky that this guy gave me the coupon, because otherwise I would have spent a lot more money. I probably would have spent closer to 90 bucks. So I was really glad for that. Ends up breaking down, the 48 books cost on average $1.35 per book, which is not too bad actually. The books really vary though, they're all the nonfiction, and I did not find too many books going for $20 plus. I probably found about 5 or so. Savers is great in terms of the quantity. They have a lot of books, and I spent many hours there scanning. And I was glad I had the Bluetooth scanner, because that definitely helps. Even though they have a lot of books, at least in this experience for me, that they're not that many high profitable books, and the price that they charge for the books is a bit high. So they charge anywhere from $2 to $3 per book, but the prices are just too high for me to be going to Savers with any regularity, and also based upon the books that I found. Now, maybe some other reseller had gone through there recently and picked out the better books, or just maybe they didn't have any at the time, or they generally don't. I don't know which one of those scenarios it falls under, but regardless, it just doesn't make sense for me to drive 30 plus miles one way to go to a place that is charging more than I'm comfortable paying. And they didn't have that many $20 plus books, so I'm probably not going to come back out here again. And there's a few other Savers around. If I'm nearby, or if I have a good plan for it, maybe I'll go to another one, but I'm probably just gonna skip out on those and just look for the smaller thrift stores that I haven't been to. The other thing that happened, I'm using my new Bluetooth scanner, the KDC 200 and FBA scan, but I ran into a problem about 45 minutes into it. So I was scanning along, everything was fine, and then I had an internet access issue through FBA scan, where it wasn't saying that it didn't have access, it was just taking a long time for the results to show up on the FBA Scan app. So I was waiting like 10, 20 seconds for each one to pop up. And then I tried to move to a different area, which didn't really work. And so I ended up just kind of going to the other side of the shelf. And then it was still kind of slow, a little bit faster. So basically, eventually it just started picking up. So that wasted some time and it was frustrating. Then the rest of it I was able to scan pretty quickly. So that's another reason for me to get the downloadable database. I might be getting the downloadable database just to avoid that scenario in the future. Because I went to a city that I don't live in, and for whatever reason, the internet is just it's not that great there. I have T-Mobile. It's strange. Anytime I go to a different city, there seems to be an issue. So it seems to be saying that if I'm gonna stay around home, it's fine. But if I go further away, further out, especially really far, another part of the state, if I do go to another state or somewhere far away, it's probably going to make sense to have the downloadable database. The expense of that is, it's either 30 or 40 bucks a month, I can't remember, for one phone. Even 40 bucks, it's not too bad. I don't want to have to spend it, but just having too many issues with the internet and Amazon Seller app, it's something that I might end up having to do to avoid wasting time when I go out and source. I'm slowly going from Amazon Seller app only to Bluetooth scanner, FBA Scan, to Bluetooth scanner, downloadable database. It's funny to see the progression, but as I want to ramp it up and send in more books, source more books and ship more books, it's something I guess that I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet on and be able to do. 40 bucks a month is almost 500 bucks a year, so it's not too bad. It's definitely worth the investment. So 48 books, first day of the week, and tomorrow I'll source again locally, more locally, much closer to home. See what I can get tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be as many. We'll see. One thing I'm finding though is, even though I'm using the Bluetooth scanner and it's going faster, it still takes time. You stand for a long time, you don't go to the bathroom, you don't go out and get something to eat, end up just eating a really late lunch. It's things like that that bring a little snack. If you have something, but after a while you want some real food. So, it's logistics like that can make sourcing for any more than two or 3 hours pretty tough. At this point, it's not something I'm doing every day. The days I'm not sourcing, I am listing, shipping, that sort of thing, doing everything else with the business. And that's one of the reasons why I like doing the bulk buys as much as I can, because then even though I have to deal with duds and getting rid of CDs, or well, in my case, bulk buy of CDs, but whether it's CDs or books, getting rid of the duds, you don't have to go and stand and source and drive somewhere and go all over the place. So that's the benefit of doing bulk buys, or having, sort of just picking up a bunch of books or a bunch of CDs or whatever it may be. I'm a fan of that, and ideally I'd like to get consistent bulk buys every month, and I'll keep looking for more CD bulk buys. That is a benefit to that versus having to stand and go out and drive around and spend gas and spend more time. I think it's good to mix both of them, especially if you want to build it up bigger. One that has full time. It's not just that if you can do this full time, it's the life that you have, Are you single? If you're single, no kids, man, you could kill it at this business. You could, especially if you're in an area where there's a lot of thrift stores, a lot of yard sales, a lot of people, millions of people, hundreds of thousands at least, then build up relationships. You can go sourcing, 4 or 5 days a week. You can do a lot with it. So it's not just having the time to go out and source. How many responsibilities do you have? If you don't have kids, if you're single, man, you should just go do it as much as you can, especially if you're planning on getting married or having kids at some point. Now is the time to do it. I wish I had found this business before I had kids, like 6-7 years ago. So I'm glad with 48 books. Not glad with spending $1.35, but I am glad, because otherwise I would have spent probably closer to $2 if that guy hadn't given me the coupon. So that was a big deal, getting 30% off. So that was really fortuitous, and I'm thankful to him, and I definitely thanked him a lot for it. I said, "Are you sure? You sure you want to give this to me?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." He was just a nice guy, so that was cool. You never know who you're going to bump into and who might help you out. So time to go and do another shipment. I just dropped off that 49 book shipment this morning to UPS. So now I need to start another one because I already have some other books at home. I probably have almost 2 more shipments. So another probably close to 90 books and CDs, but mostly books. I have to get 2 more shipments out as soon as I can. But tomorrow I'll get even more books. So that becomes the problem, you know, get inundated with stuff and you have to try to list as much as you can. But that's a good problem to have. As always, remember, keep booking. $48. 48.